University of New Hampshire, which has been an outstanding team. But this is really royalty when it comes to the America East, these two teams.
Absolutely. Have played in the conference championship game each of the past 2 years, and I don't think it would surprise anybody to see them right back there again this year.
Albany coming out victorious in both of those, of course, and the Danes are right there at 2-1 with Maine. Hartford and Vermont, perhaps a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, Hartford, I think the surprise of the league so far, and Maine and Albany both know it well.
Let's take a look at our keys to victory today for the University of Albany Great Danes, and of course, Féquière Arena has been very good to Coach Joanna Burnaby-McNamee.
Absolutely. They've won 35 of their last 37 games here, and maybe none bigger than last year's America East Championship game.
Rebounding a key as well, especially on the offensive side.
Yeah, and it's not going to be easy for UAlbany today either. Tanisha Sutton is averaging almost 10 rebounds a game for Maine.
And of course, that U70, when they keep them under 70, it's a good day for UAlbany.
And of note, Maine has only hit that number twice this season.
We'll see what happens today, and if Maine does well, it will be because of number 22, Blanca Milan.
Yeah, Milan is maybe the most consistent player in the America East right now. She's been in double figures for her past 15 games and averaging about 20 points a game as we've gotten into conference play.
Maine a little bit of a smaller team, so of course post-play for Albany, where the Danes are strong, could be a big deal. That could be big for Tiana Jo Carter coming off a career high.
We know what an outstanding defensive player she is, in the top 5 UAlbany all-time on the block shots list, but also 22 points her last time out. Is really playing well offensively right now too.
Carter missed practice this week because of a minor injury that occurred during the Stony Brook game where she slipped on the floor. So she'll be a key in seeing how healthy she is, a key today, Pete. Maine starting 5, a very young starting 5.
Yeah, no seniors in the starting lineup here for Maine, but they've really played like a veteran group so far this season. And Coach Michonne really went out and challenged them with a difficult non-conference schedule.
Number 22 in the nation coming into the America East schedule, their non-conference schedule. For the Great Danes, I think it's a starting 5 we've become very familiar with Trpcic, Ayalabe, Féquière, Forrester, and Carter.
Coach Mack has obviously found a group of 5 that she likes to roll with, and it's worked well for her so far.
Played well so far in this conference as well, as the Danes are 13-3 overall. Maine's head coach is Amy Vachon. She is the interim head coach, taking over for Richard Barron, who happily is back with the athletic department. Coach Barron went out last year with a serious injury, a serious illness, I should say. He is back working within the athletic department now, hopefully watching the game today. Coach Barron hopes you continue to get well, and we see you back on the sideline soon. But Amy Vachon has done a very nice job as she has taken over the reins of this program and really feels, Pete, that she's got some consistency now. Last year with just 18 games left in the season is when she took over. This year she's had this core since the beginning.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to take over in the middle of the season, especially when it's under difficult circumstances like an illness. But having a whole off season to go through with this team and have them get a feel for her personality and her expectations, I think is really benefited. And it's shown in the way they played, 9-7 overall. But that's a deceptive overall record when you look at the quality of their schedule.
They played Mississippi State, they played Duke, Ohio State, and Miami. They played Syracuse in the preseason. So it really is an aggressive out-of-conference schedule for Amy Vachon, and she does get credit for those wins as the interim head coach. So now 20-14 in her first full year as head coach, and of course UAlbany coached by Joanna Burnaby-McNamee, somewhere in that huddle, giving some last-minute instructions to her team. Pete, she's 32-15 overall, 32-15 at UAlbany, 112-61 overall in her second season, and of course has that victory over Maine last year in the America East Championship game. We are set to go here at Féquière Arena. So glad you decided to join us this afternoon. Nice crowd on hand here at Féquière. Perhaps you're watching on your mobile device here in the arena, or you're watching at home. But either way, we're glad you joined us today. Rich Becker and Pete Iorizzo courtside here at Féquière as Maine and Albany get ready to go in this Saturday afternoon matinee. Fanny Wadling will tip it up along with Heather Forrester. As we covered there by Maine, and the Black Bears will have the first offensive attack in this one. Nice backdoor cut right there. That is what Maine is known for, as Fanny Wadling finds Blanca Milan for the bucket, and Maine's on the board quickly. That's something that Coach Mack was very nervous about, all those backdoor cuts.
You're going to see that all afternoon, Rich. That ball goes to the high post, and there's a backdoor cut.
Jessica Féquière's shot doesn't draw anything, goes out of bounds. Off of Albany, it'll be Maine ball. Terry Lang, Corey Pothier, Victoriano, I should say, are the officials for today's game. Tanisha Sutton with a drive on Carter, gets it up, rolls off the rim, rebounded by Bose, and the Danes will move. Mackenzie Turpchich calling out the play, gets the high screen from Forrester. Drives to the basket, now a little short pull-up for Mackenzie Turpchich, and the Danes are on the board.
Turpchich played especially well in the American East Championship game last year, scoring 15 points.
Nice to get her going early for UAlbany. Maine quickly moving the ball around. Sutton guarded by Forrester. Bit of a mismatch there as Sutton is very quick off the dribble. Three-pointer from the right corner there by Dorsar goes out of bounds, and it'll be UAlbany ball.
Sutton and Forrester would be an interesting matchup to watch, I think, for both players. The challenge for Sutton obviously would be dealing with a taller player, but on the other hand, Forrester will have her hands full trying to keep Sutton in front of her.
Amy Vachon mentioned that. It's a two-way street. You know, we may be smaller, but we're quicker. So, you know, you have to guard us just like we have to guard you. Féquière creates some space. Turpchich now drives on Milan. All the way around, finds Bose in the corner. Thought about the three, instead takes up the runner, and Bose Alabay in the scorebook as she hits a little baseline runner, and the Danes have the lead. Bit of a lazy pass there by Sutton, almost tracked down by Carter, but Fani Wadling picks it up. Sarr. Screen there by Wadling. Sarr drives on Carter. Carter with the rejection. Saved inbounds by Féquière, and the Danes will run. Bose for three. A little bit long. Rebounded by Carter. Uses her size underneath for the rebound and to put it back up, but Wadling comes down with the rebound as Carter misses. Brosseau looks like she's limping. She may have got knee in the thigh or something. She's having a little bit of trouble. Danes take it away. Referee has recognized that Brosseau is having some issues there. Call the timeout.
It looks like she's going to get a sub here, too.
Maurice Rossignol checks in for Julie Brosseau, the 5'8" sophomore guard from Quebec, the top three-point shooter, not only on this team, but also in the America East.
Certainly a player UAlbany was going to have to focus on in this game. The Great Danes have had trouble this season identifying that three-point shooter, that key three-point shooter for the other games. Teams have shot the ball very well from three against UAlbany this season. 35.7 for Brosseau, and she'll be on the bench. Swatted away by Wadling there as Forrester says, that's my bad, I didn't get it up high enough. Danes maintain possession with 22 on the clock. Turpchich. Rossignol on her. 17 feet for Forrester. Féquière saves it. Up off glass, gets the roll for Jessica Féquière. Féquière held scoreless in the first half against Stony Brook, so already 2 points better than that. Yep, and no fouls yet either, which was an issue against Stony Brook.
Sutton, the top assister on this team, numerically. Nice backdoor cut there as Sutton beat her defender. Easy backdoor bucket there for the Black Bears. And
that's a big part of the Maine offense, Rich. You have the ball, give it up, and then immediately a backdoor cut to the basket. UAlbany's going to have to be quick to recognize that.
Féquière for three, side iron, goes off of Forrester. Check that one off the Maine player, out of bounds, stays with Albany. Féquière. It's a shot off. Looked like it might be deflected. Here's Milan. Quick inside pass there to Sutton, who traveled. Could not quite grab a hold of the ball as Blanca Milan kind of put it down at her feet a little bit. Tough pass to catch in motion there for Tanisha Sutton.
You see Maine trying to push the tempo a little bit there too. I think Maine feels like that might be an advantage for them in this game. A little bit smaller, but maybe a little bit quicker up and down the court.
Maine scoring 65.3. That's fourth in the America East. Danes, of course, the #1 scoring team in the America East at over 70 points a game. Bose, 17 feet. That's a little short. Rebounded by Rossignol. Settles down the pace. Gives it up to Dorsar. Sarr, freshman from Israel. 15-footer on the elbow. She knocks it down. One of the issues that Dorsar has had of late is shooting. She's been a little inconsistent with the shooting, getting off to a good start there. Tripchich tried to go over the top for Canada, didn't quite connect there, out of bounds. Turnover by the Danes.
Fun to watch the matchup of the point guards in this game. That's really two of the better young point guards in the America East, I think, going head-to-head in this game.
When you talk about point guards, you got with Coach Mack and Amy Vachon. Pete, you and I were talking about this before. The coaches were standing there talking. We both kind of wondered, wow, that's a lot of assists right there. It's 1,866 career assists. Vachon, the all-time leader in assists for Maine at 759. Coach Mack with 1107 during her days at Western Liberty, where she was a Division II All-American.
We both wondered, but you did math, Rich, just to be clear.
It was a good team effort, right? Foul called underneath there. It'll be on Forrester, her first, team's first. Tanisha Sutton will get 2 shots. Maine not a strong free throw shooting team. Sutton rings the first one out. 65.4% on the season. That's 7th in the America East. Danes, as we know, an outstanding free throw shooting team at just over 75%, number 1 in the conference. Sutton makes the second one, though. Maine has the 7-6 lead. Emma List just checked in, the freshman from Colorado. Patricia Conroy in as well. Tripchich for 3, got it. Stivalo for 3, she's got 5 points, and the Danes have a 9-7 lead.
She's the America East assist leader, but she is certainly not afraid to shoot it if she gets an open look.
It's a nice combination to have out of your point guard, someone that can score. Nice backdoor cut there by Blanca Milan. She beats her defender at the basket for an easy 2. So far, all 3 baskets Maine has scored have come on backdoor cuts. Féquière for 3, she's got it. Jessica Féquière, first 3 of the game, and she passes 800 points in her career, now 801 for Jessica Féquière. She moves up the Danes' all-time scoring chart. Cheyenne Canada jumped out to double the ball there. Kirsten Johnson in now for Maine. 3-pointer off the sidearm there. Good rebound by Johnson. She traveled before she could get the shot off. Johnson is 6'2", forward out of San Diego, the only senior that gets significant playing time for Maine. Looking to get some more points on the board as Albany leads right now, 12-9. We'll take a quick TR Farms timeout and be back after this.
Here at the University at Albany, we're undergoing our largest academic expansion in 50 years. We've created high-demand programs like computer engineering, digital forensics, homeland security, and advanced data analytics. We've strengthened our commitment to the health sciences and biomedical research. We're preparing our students for tomorrow's jobs. We are a university on the move.
The America East Women's Basketball Championship in Portland. Coming back to Maine, especially Portland, being so close to family, was an amazing feeling. The atmosphere was phenomenal. Maine has a great support system, especially towards basketball. Portland is a great area. I'm not far from it. There's such great scenery. I love visiting there.
Visit Portland for the 2018 America East Women's Basketball Tournament, March 3rd and 4th at the Cross Insurance Arena. Tickets are on sale now.
Hey, Portland, we'll see you in March.
I chose the UAlbany Executive Weekend MBA program because it was oriented and designed for working professionals, completed in just 22 short months. It was an unprecedented value. The program itself is all-inclusive. Food, books, whatever you need, they're ready to provide it for you. The Executive Weekend MBA program gave me the confidence to move to the next level of the organization. UAlbany was the right choice for me.
More than 30 years ago, a new kind of health plan was created by local doctors dedicated to delivering the quality care their patients deserved. Today, CDPHP continues to put you and your family first providing healthcare coverage that is personal, accessible, and dependable. Your health is everything. That's why it matters to us.
CDPHP, a plan for your life.
New member of the 800-point club here at UAlbany is Jessica Féquière. Hits the 3 here, and that puts her at 801 for her very strong career here at the university.
Yeah, it's hard to overstate really how much she means to the team and the program, averaging almost 20 points a game. Maybe one game all season when she didn't play well in the league opener against Hartford, only scores 6 points, then bounces right back the past 2 games, 13 points and then 15 points against Stony Brook the last time out.
That Hartford game you mentioned, the only one this season she hasn't been in double digits. Cece Mayo checking in, regains possession, finds Féquière. Danes will reset with 12 on the clock. Screen by Mayo. Now Mayo outside. She'll drive the basket on Saar, wrap it around for Carter, but turns it over as Milan pulls it away. Saar on the clear out. Now Milan drives the basket. Good switch there by Emma List to take the lane away from Milan. Three-pointer outside is knocked down by Paris Rossignol. Outstanding scorer in her high school days at Maine. In fact, all 4 years she led the state in scoring. 2,589 points in her career at Van Buren High School in Maine.
She's just one of the many outstanding three-point shooters on this Maine team.
Carter from 15. Féquière, offensive rebound, gets fouled right there. Gets a hand up there from Cece Mayo as the Danes will regroup. Maeve Carroll gets called for the foul. Freshman out of Oakton, Virginia, seeing her first action. Inbounds pass is to Carter. Little too strong there as it goes off back iron. Turpchich gets called for the foul as she goes over the back on Saar. First foul on Turpchich.
One of the keys for Maine Rich coming into this game, they talked about not wanting to give Albany second and third chances, not wanting to give up too many offensive rebounds, and I would say so far they've done a pretty good job of that.
The offensive rebounds they have given up haven't hurt that much. Offensive rebounds leading directly to putbacks. Milan, little floater there. That was nice. She split the defense and got the right-hander to go. 14-12 Black Bears now. Turpchich looked for Mayo on the high post, didn't have her. Cece guarded closely by Milan. Turpchich now, back to Mayo. Hand off to Turpchich. Step back three for McKenzie is off the mark. They're going to get Kirsten Johnson for the foul as she kind of pushed off on Tiana Jo Carter. Johnson's first foul.
I was about to credit Johnson for a nice box out, but just a little bit too assertive there with the backhand, I think.
I think it was later in the play, exactly what you said, that created the foul. Johnson checks out, she'll get a rest. Nice job by Rossignol to fight over the screen. Féquière to Forrester from 15. Forrester will drive back out to Féquière for three, and Jessica Féquière has got a second three-pointer of the game.
Some nice chemistry between those two on that play. Forrester realizing that if she gave it right back to Féquière, she'd have an open look.
Good drive by Forrester to create that open look, too, for Féquière. Waddling on the baseline, kicks it out to an open Dorsar, passes on the shot. Good court vision there by Féquière as she's trying to find the screen. Milan drives, gets swatted from behind by Mayo, who gets called for the foul. Cece Mayo looked back in astonishment that there was a foul called there, and I'd have to agree with that. It looked like she got all ball and pushed it out of bounds.
First look, I thought she just lost control of the ball.
Didn't seem like she got hand there. Maybe some of the body before could have been called.
Maybe a little bit of the reach in with the right hand, but it wasn't much.
Off the ball, the foul is called. Bose. In hockey, they called it interference. Mayo on the ball. Now Milan on the baseline, drives for an easy layup. She just slipped by the defender. Easy baskets right now. The way things are going for Maine is they have a 16-15 lead. Forrester from 15. Bose to Rbds with Sutton. Little miscommunication there between Rbds and Mayo. Mayo went one way, Rbds went the other. It's a turnover for the Danes. Mayo's coming out. Canada will come in. Sutton, who played the point guard position last year. Very versatile player. Now starts at the 4. Milan to Sutton. Sutton guarded by Canada. Bose got a hand on it. There's another look. I don't know where the foul was there, Pete.
We have the benefit of instant replay, of course, which the officials don't. But yeah, it certainly looked like there was nothing but ball there.
I don't think they're sure who their foul is on. Now they've decided it's on Cheyenne and Canada. Tanisha Sutton at the line as the Danes are over the limit. Sutton knocks down the first one. 2-point lead now for the Black Bears. Get a side spin on that free throw, but it goes. Bose looking over the top for Forrester, didn't quite, and now has Forrester. Nice pass by Cheyenne Canada. Adds Heather Forrester, lays in 2.
A really nice pass from Canada. You could see that she led Forrester to exactly where she wanted her to catch the ball, and it puts Forrester in a perfect position for an easy basket.
Good work by Forrester in the finish. Saar for 3. Side iron there. Danes will push the ball again, looking to create some energy. Rbds goes around Milan, over to the corner for Bose now. Right in front of Maine's bench. Here's Forrester from 15, over the top for Canada, but well played by Fani Wadling as she swats it out of bounds.
I think Wadling was thinking, I just saw this on the previous possession, and that time she anticipated the pass a little bit better.
That's one of the things with this Maine team. You talk about a high IQ basketball team. As you watch them play, they don't make the same mistake twice, and they don't make a lot of mistakes to start with. Very smart team, very high basketball IQ.
Which is impressive for a team that, again, doesn't have any seniors in the starting lineup.
Forrester was open, 3 on the clock now, and double dribble called on Jessica Féquière before she could get a shot off. Turnover on UAlbany, their 5th. Side out of bounds right next to Amy Vachon, where Tanisha Sutton will bring it in and toss it to Paris Rosignol. Féquière gets hit hard. The ball goes offside iron as Rosignol tried to beat the clock. Couldn't quite do it. As that one falls away, no basket there, and Maine will take a 1-point lead to the first intermission. We're at the end of 1. Maine 18, Albany 17. You're watching America East Women's Basketball here on ESPN3. Maine opening the first quarter of this one, shooting almost 54%. Blanca Milan, a big reason for that.
Rich, you can see why she's such a great player in this offense. Maine looks to spread the floor, and she's crafty there on that play. Shows a nice touch right there. She really is a key to a lot of the things that Maine tries to do offensively.
A now 6'1" sophomore guard from Spain. I say now 6'1" because last year she was 5'11". She actually grew 2 inches, and you don't see that a lot in a post, 18, 19, 20-year-old person. You don't see that growth happening, and she picked up an extra 2 inches. And Coach Vachon said she actually took a little bit of time to get used to being 2 inches taller. She struggled a little bit with that early on.
I'd like to have that problem.
Exactly. Féquière gets pushed hard by Wadling, and Wadling will get hit with a foul.
Black Bears foul number 51.
First foul on her, first on the team of the period. Bose inbounds. She'll take it in the corner. Back out to Turcic. Féquière lurking down on the baseline. Watched closely by Rosignol. Here's Canada from 15. Drives on Milan, underneath. Tried to get the reverse, didn't quite go. Picked up there by Maddie McVicker. Here's Sutton. Knocked away by Carter. As Carter picks it up, she'll go in with the left hand and score right there. Tiana Jo Carter steal and score there. Points off turnovers, very big for Albany.
And Carter really a smart play there defensively. You know that Maine is going to look to get the ball to the high post, and Carter was able to anticipate there. It was a little bit of a lazy pass, and she takes advantage of it, and it turns into points at the other end.
Milan goes hard to the basket there and gets fouled. Coach Mack does not agree. Looked like Carter may have tied her up there. Don't have the front view of that. Coach Mack already not happy with several of the calls that the Danes have seen.
I'm sure she's well aware that her team has not been to the free throw line yet. That might be a little bit of a source of frustration for her.
Maine has now been there 5 times. Will be 6 once Milan takes this second try. Knocks down the second one, does Blanca Milan, a 62.5% free throw shooter coming in. And Maine and Albany are knotted at 19. Carter. Turcic has a lane, goes right by McVicker, throws it up with the right hand, and it goes for Mackenzie Turcic. Now 7 points on the day as Albany regains the advantage.
McVicker just hesitated for just a second there. Wasn't quite sure where she was going to slide to her left or stay in front of Mackenzie. Mackenzie made her pay for it.
Sutton to the corner for Milan. Good close out there by Bose. Sutton and Carter. Now the switch to Carter. Knocked away by Féquière. Ball is loose. Jessica has it. She's going the other way. 1-on-2. Drives and gets the foul. Féquière went down hard. And keep in mind, she's got a foot injury. That's the injury that kept her out for an entire year. She went down hard with a big grimace on her face. Unfortunately, nothing more than just a bump.
Jessica Féquière at the line.
She's back up. Féquière will be at the line for the first 2 free throws of the game for UAlbany.
Again, it was smart play on the defensive end, again leading to some points here for the Great Danes.
Chess makes the first.
Black Bears substitution, number 15, Doris Tarr, and number 33, Kristen Johnson.
Féquière now with an even 40 three-pointers on the season as she makes the free throw there. 86.3% free throw shooter. Top 3, actually number 3 in the America East this year. Sar and Turcic battling it out at the point guard position. Nice read there by Tiana Jo Carter. She gives it up to Bose. Danes will pull it out. That was a smart move right there by Bose to pull that out. They were a little bit sideways on the break. You value the possession rather than trying to get the easy points. Turcic drives on Sutton, gets called for the foul, and no, it's waved off. No basket.
no basket, but still you have to like Turpchich being very aggressive there and trying to get the ball to the basket. We mentioned earlier, no free throws in the first quarter for the Great Danes. I'm sure one of Coach Mack's messages to the team after the first quarter was, let's try to get to the basket a little bit more and see if we can get ourselves to the free throw line.
Which is exactly what Mackenzie Turpchich did there. She gets to the free throw line. She'll take those after this Tierra Farm timeout. Danes up 23-19. They're watching America East women's basketball here on ESPN3.
Respect is hard work, respect is dedication.
Respect is earned on the court or on the field.
Respect doesn't judge based on sexual orientation or gender identity.
Respect is being the first conference to partner with the You Can Play project.
And the first conference in the LGBT Sports Safe Founders Club.
Respect coaches, players, and the game.
Respect similarities.
Respect differences.
Spread respect.
Spread respect.
Spread respect.
Go ahead. Love life. Believe in your dreams. And theirs too. Look forward to what's next. Behind every financial decision you make, there is purpose. At CEFCU, we get it. Offering loans, lines of credit, and banking solutions that are as unique as you are. It's not about us, it's about you. We love banking, so you can love life. Great rates, quick approvals, apply online today. CEFCU, banking with a purpose.
The America East Women's Basketball Championship in Portland. Coming back to Maine, especially Portland, being so close to family was an amazing feeling. The atmosphere was phenomenal. Maine has a great support system, especially towards basketball. Portland is a great area. I'm not far from it. There's such great scenery. I love visiting there.
Visit Portland for the 2018 America East Women's Basketball Tournament, March 3rd and 4th at the Cross Insurance Arena. Tickets are on sale now.
Hey Portland, we'll see you in March.
Every day, we're reminded that nothing is more important than the health of the people we care about. It's the reason CDPHP partners with doctors you trust, provides the personal attention you deserve, and offers programs and services to help keep you healthy today and tomorrow. And it's why CDPHP is committed to giving your family quality care you can count on.
CDPHP, a plan for your life.
We are right back here on Monday at 2 p.m. to celebrate Martin Luther King Day as the Binghamton Bearcats come to town to take on Albany at 2 p.m. start. Danes hit the road for a pair and then back here for an 11 a.m. Education Day game against the University of Vermont. And then January 27th, they'll host Stony Brook at 2. And look at that, Pete. We're done with January already.
Yeah, and one of the things Coach Mack mentioned this week, it's tough to get practice time this time of year. Here we are Saturday, another game Monday, another game Thursday. It doesn't give you a whole lot of time to prepare in between.
Carter inside takes the pass from Féquière. Nice move there by Carter as she gets the turnaround almost to go. Picked up by Féquière. She gets stripped of the ball, but the foul is called on, looks like Paris Rossignol, number 12.
Now 6 offensive rebounds for the Great Danes. That was one of the things they wanted to accomplish going into the game, was to buy themselves some more second chances. You can see they're starting to pile up now a little bit.
Number of possessions. Féquière gets the first one to fall. Might be too early to say this because you worry about the free throw jinx, but only one game this year has Jessica Féquière missed more than one free throw. Wow. Just one time this year.
About as consistent a shooter from the free throw line as you'll find.
Said, just missed it. So. 5 of 8 against New Hampshire. Other than that, knocks it down there does Kira Vara, the 6'3" freshman from Dillingen, Germany. Amy Vachon, much like Joanna Burnaby-McNamee, going deep on the bench. Turpchich inside, a little bit short on the layup. Johnson brings it down. Double foul. No, ties it up. John Joe Carter tied it up. The possession arrow goes toward Maine, so it'll stay with the Black Bears.
Well, nice job by Carter not giving up on that play.
When Vic Torrigiano came out there with both arms extended, I thought he was calling the double foul, but instead it was the held ball. Barra over the middle for Dorsar, goes off her hand. It's picked off by Forrester. Gives it up to Turpcic. Gets hit from behind there by Saar, still gets it up there. Rebound by Carter, slapped at on the side by Blanca Milan, and a foul is called. And it is on Blanca Milan. That's her first. Team's fifth. So you talked about Maine making or getting a lot of free throw opportunities in the first quarter. Albany is getting them now as Maine already is over the limit.
Yeah, Maine now has 6 turnovers too, but it seems as though almost all of those turnovers have led to points at the other end for the Great Danes. A lot of them have come around midcourt or in the high post, and it's given Albany some easy opportunities at the other end.
Carter makes that free throw. Danes lead now by 4, 25-21. Saar splits the defenders, brings it across court. Watched closely by Bose as the Danes extend their defense. Switching off there as they move it all the way around as Maine now inside to Sutton, who moves in the post. Nice move there as she pushed Bose right out of the way and scored, does Tanisha Sutton. The 5'10 redshirt junior from Philadelphia, impressive.
She's a really difficult player to guard. You see there, she has her back to the basket like a post player, but there's not too many players who can play with their back to the basket like that who have the skill set she does.
Féquière knocks down the 3. Good screen up top and a good decision by Mackenzie Turpcic. Freed Jessica Féquière for the 3. Nice backdoor cut there by Milan again. As the Bears have scored again on the backdoor play. Turpcic, set shot 3, off the rim, rebounded there by Sutton. She'll get fouled before she can take off down the court.
Number 22,
Heather Forrester, and it's Forrester's second.
Team foul number 2. Great Dane substitutions number 32, Emma List, and number 44, Cheyenne Canada.
Cheyenne Canada, Emma List to check in for UAlbany. Bose and Heather Forrester get a rest. Sutton. Now Johnson back to Saar. Screen there by Johnson, frees up Sutton with 10. Sutton will drive now, get some help by Canada, but not in time, and Sutton goes right to the basket. Carter now. Féquière. Johnson jumps out to defend. Féquière to Emma List. List, nice inside pass to Carter for 2. Good look by Emma List as she spun it around the corner.
Excellent vision. Not sure how she saw that she had an open player there through the maze of bodies, but threaded the needle on a nice feed to the post.
Turpcic gets caught up in the screen. No harm there on the defensive side for the Danes. Skip pass all the way across for Milan, who catches it, goes hard to the basket, rejected by Carter. Milan grabs the ball back. 4 seconds to shoot. Now Saar loses it. Carter secures it, goes quickly up court to Turpcic, lays it ahead for Féquière, but just a bit too far. And it's a turnover for UAlbany instead of an easy 2 points.
An outstanding possession for UAlbany at the defensive end there. Obviously Carter gets the block that spurs the ball going the other way, but earlier on in that possession you saw that Maine tried to run that backdoor cut again, but that time Féquière recognized it and Maine wasn't able to execute it.
Barra. Corner 3 for Maddie McVicker is good. Junior from Calais, Maine is in the scorebook. Knotted at 30 now. Féquière for 3, a little bit off balance there as it falls off side iron. McVicker will bring it up court. There's Milan. Back to McVicker for 3. Off the rim, rebounded there by Sutton, who goes up. Gets rejected by Carter, but on the body is the foul. If you put a forward on her, or someone that she can go by, she's quick to go by. So you really do have that matchup issue with her. Kiara Frames now getting her first action at point guard for the Danes. Finds Féquière. Féquière with a lane down the middle. She takes it. Ball gets knocked away, stays with Albany. Nice defensive play by Blanca Milan. Milan, a two-time medal winner when she played in Europe on the Spain U15 and U16 team. See the rejection there. Actually thought it was Milan, but it was Sutton who made the nice play to come over to get the rejection and knock it out of play. Appears Emma List may have a cut of some sort. She'll go to the attention of the trainer. Get that cleaned up, and now she's back in. Nice look right there from Frames. As she goes right to Jessica Féquière for the inbound two. You like them when they're that easy if you're the UAlbany head coach.
Exactly. That's a nice execution on the out-of-bounds play.
Barra guarded closely by Canada. Sutton moving it around. Milan drives on List. Gets that to fall. Good defense there by Emma List. That's just a good shot by Blanca Milan.
Yeah, she's shown us a few times. She has a really nice touch on that pull-up jumper.
One of those players like Sutton really that can score from anywhere. List going hard to the basket with the left hand. Doesn't quite get there. Sutton comes down with a rebound. Maine trying to build on its 1-point lead. 2 minutes to play. Féquière on the floor. Held ball is called. It'll go to Albany.
Féquière that time recognized the give and go was coming. Another one of those backdoor cuts that Maine tries to run. But that's the second time now this quarter that we've seen Féquière step in front of those. First time she prevented the pass altogether. That time she's able to break it up and cause the turnover.
Coach Mack said because of the precision with which Maine runs its offense, they can make teams look foolish. Just in the ease in which they score a basket. Just makes you look like, well, what are we doing on defense? But they run it so well. Carter drives, a little too far underneath. Wrong way on the spin as the ball falls away. Rebounded there by Barra. Frames way out to pick up McVicker. Barra to Milan. Guarded by Féquière. Johnson sending Sutton all the way around. Now McVicker drives, but she's fouled before by Frames. No basket there. First foul on Frames. Danes now with 4 team fouls, so Maine will shoot free throws at the next Albany foul. Barra puts it on the floor, now goes to McVicker. McVicker directing traffic. Milan with 15, tries to go by, now steps back. The little jumper there falls 3 times off the iron before it's pulled down by Forrester. Frames quickly up the court, sees an opportunity, goes to the basket, throws it up, doesn't catch the rim. Instead goes off the backboard and pulled down by Kirsten Johnson. Under a minute to play. .15 on the shot clock. McVicker inside to Sutton. Drives baseline, now goes way back outside of Milan. Thought about the three, guarded there by Forrester. Goes around the corner, throws it up, and gets fouled by Patricia Conroy. Good cut by Milan coming all the way around the corner, Pete. And this is the thing that I think you're seeing from Milan, is she really can score anywhere on the court.
The tricky thing about Maine is they have several players like that. Sutton's largely the same way. And in some ways, she was sort of the key to the play there. Gets the ball into the basket and then draws a few defenders toward her, is able to get the ball back out to the top of the key to Milan.
Milan leading the team in scoring at 17.5 coming in. Also almost 50% from the field. You look at the Maine scouting report, and it really almost every player says, can shoot three, will cut back door. So, you know, you pick your poison, I guess.
Nobody really fits exactly right into the mold of the position that they're playing.
Shot clock is off. Danes down 3. Ten seconds now. Bose from the corner for 3. Off the top of the backboard, and it goes through. Unfortunately, it had on the other side of the backboard first. And that will not count. Oh my, that would have been nice.
Albany would have loved to have that one. Bose found herself wide open there. It looked like the Maine defense forgot about her.
4 seconds, now 3. McVicker fumbles it away, picked up by Forrester, and the horn sounds. And Maine has the halftime lead at 35-32. We'll come back with stats, highlights, and we'll look at one of the top defenders in the America East. It's all coming up in our halftime show. Maine leading Albany 35-32. You're watching America East Women's Basketball right here on ESPN 3.
I don't think you can overstate how big of an advantage it is to be playing a championship game in front of your home crowd.
Standing room only, and just at the end, like having everybody rush the court is like a surreal feeling.
Obviously that shot, you know, has been a big part of this program's history, and they did a lot of winning here, and that's why I came here. We had that opportunity, just got to take it.
Just to go out as a winner.
Cut down the nets at home. Win at home, win it all.
Our house rules.
Our house rules.
Our house rules.
Welcome back to Seth Cuter. We are at halftime here, and the Danes are trailing the University of Maine 35-32. UAlbany senior forward Tiana Jo Carter had a pair of blocks in that first half. She now has 140 on her career, just 11 away from tying the all-time mark of 151 held by Gia Sanders, class of 2008. Earlier this week, we talked to Carter at practice, and she shared some of her shot-blocking philosophies. Nice pass in the middle, Littleton, rejected by Carter.
I'm just trying to do what I do, you know, I'm just going out there trying to take each game one at a time, trying to get further as a team, and if it happens to be a block in there, then that's great for me, but I'm trying to get our team as a whole to the next game. When we're practicing and every time someone tries to come in the paint, I try to make sure they don't score if they're not on my team. I think it can be intimidating at times. I think it takes away your confidence once you get in there and someone hits your shot out or something like that. It takes a little confidence away. So that's what we're trying to do. We don't want people scoring in the paint, so if they want to score, they're going to have to do something else.
Deanna Jo Carter, one of the outstanding shot blockers, 5 points so far, and a couple of rebounds for Carter as her Danes trail by 3 right now at halftime. We're back with highlights and stats after this here on ESPN3. Scoreboard and highlights. Okay. We know how the men finished.
All right, fans, for your halftime entertainment today, turn your attention to the court as we've got members of the East Greenbush Mini Girls team, 5th and 6th graders.
He didn't play
Really?
an 86-46 game? Still. Thought he would have started the second half.
10. Yikes. No. Oh, crud, I forgot to say women's. Are we doing highlights here, Laura? What we got? "39 minutes between them." Oops. Welcome back to Féquière. Some UAlbany stars of the future on the court right now as we are at halftime here of this women's college basketball game. 35-32, the University of Maine on top of UAlbany in a rematch of last year's championship game. And Pete, what stands out to you first before we look at highlights? What really stands out to you in this first half is the reason why Albany's down 3 right now?
Maine shot the ball extremely well from the field, and one of the reasons was that they got more than a few, I would say, open looks on those backdoor plays that we talked about coming into the game. Coach Mack, UAlbany, very much aware that that's what Maine is going to run on offense, but still they executed so well that it's really difficult to defend.
60% in the first half, 59.1 for Maine in that second quarter, I should say. And Blanca Milan, a big reason for that. The outstanding sophomore guard at 6'1", having a great game.
You can see why this offense suits her really well. Maine looks to spread the floor. She's a really crafty player, and she gets a lot of space to operate.
6 of 8 from the floor. She's played all 20 minutes so far in this game for the University of Maine. On the other side, of course, Jessica Féquière. Once again in double digits. She's got 16 inside and outside. She's been getting it done.
Yeah, and her presence on the defensive end, I think, has been really strong, too. I think you saw later in the second quarter. She was one of the players who started really anticipating those backdoor cuts and made a difference for the Danes at the defensive end as well.
Slow start for Jess against Stony Brook the other night with no points in the first half because of that foul trouble. How important do you think it was to her to get off to a really good start tonight?
Oh, very, very important. What you saw, she took 10 shots in the first half. That shows she's very much engaged in the offense and a big part of what the Great Danes are doing at that end of the floor.
We mentioned some of the stats. We'll come back and take a look at some more of those stats and our out-of-town scoreboard. It's coming up as we are at halftime here at Féquière. UAlbany trailing Maine 35-32 here on ESPN3.
Lost my train of thought from there.
I do. 66-54 UMBC. Scoreboard first, Laura, and then stats, or stats first, then scores? Okay. Okay. 66-54 UMBC according to the America East page. Hartford, Binghamton, Maine, Albany. Vermont, Stony Brook is not on here. They're keeping it a secret. Is it listed? 2 o'clock in Burlington, but this one's at...
The UAlbany, the men's game still has no score.
No. That's why. Those are the live games. Our futures game continues here at CEFCU Court, CEFCU Arena, I should say, on the court of CEFCU Arena, as Maine and Albany continue to discuss their plans for the second half in the locker room. Maine leading by 3. Right now, let's take a look at some first half stats. And the field goals really largely 10 more shots for UAlbany, and yet trailing by 3.
Yeah, like we said earlier, Maine shot the ball extremely well from the first half. Did a good job of creating some good opportunities to score, and really took advantage of the backdoor cuts that they love to run.
And how well they shot it, I actually underestimated. They shot 66.7% in the second quarter. They were 60% now for the game, which is something that Coach Joanna Burnaby-McNamee has to be addressing at the half. We cannot let them shoot the ball that well.
Absolutely, and Maine only had 3 offensive rebounds in the first half too. Of course, part of that is because they shot the ball so well, but if you're able to get some more second chance opportunities, and that number just continues to go up from there.
The points in the paint number is a little surprising too, because the Black Bears really don't play that type of game. They're not a push it inside, and the fact that it's 14-14 also has to be something that's concerning to UAlbany's coaching staff.
Yeah, Maine really wants to spread the floor, but what it does is give you some opportunities to take the ball to the basket, and I think that's where you see a lot of those 14 points in the paint come from Maine.
Take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard right now, where Vermont, undefeated so far this season at 2-0, taking on Stony Brook 35-34 at the half. UMBC, a nice win for Phil Stern and the Retrievers down there, picking up their first win, Division I win of the season, I should say, 66-54 over Lowell. And Hartford and Binghamton, a 4 o'clock start. Of course, Hartford undefeated, leading the league right now, and Binghamton, the team that Albany will see here on Monday on MLK Day here at CEFCU Arena, a 2 p.m. start. A game hopefully you'll come down to the arena and see, but if you don't, you can catch it right here on ESPN3. We are at halftime as the teams are starting to make their way back to the court and get ready for second half action. We will do the same and be back with you in a few after this timeout, 35-32 Maine at half.
Fans, this time UAlbany Athletics would like to thank the following proud sponsors. CEFCU, Frozen Curie.
That was really up to date. That Vermont Stony Brook score was
Joint Center.
exactly what it is on the live stats. Nice job, guys. And we got live stats back.
Real Seafood, Dunkin' Donuts, Across the Street Pub.
Thank you, guys.
CDPHP, the Desmond Hotel, Nice Goa, the Recovery Sports Group.
A couple of those would have been nice to know that UAlbany didn't score for the last 3 minutes.
We're going to have time. I mean, we're looking at where the rundown go. Ready with it? Here it is. It's a 2:30 break. We're probably 30 into it already, so we're going to have a minute and a half, 2 minutes to talk about it. So, I mean, neither team, well, they didn't score any field goals, but. Gotta get more out of her. No confidence. Come from the post, come to the free throw line extended, and shoot it. And make a couple of those, and then build your confidence, you know? Yeah, they did that without Brasso.
That's right, she never came back in the game.
Didn't come back in the game, no. as close a game as we expected it to be here at the University at Albany, as Maine and Albany going at it. Daughter of one of our professors here at the University of Albany, taking in this game with wide eyes, hoping to see a great second half by her UAlbany Great Danes. We'll see what Maine has in mind, though. 35-32 is the score between these two premier programs, two programs that have been together in the last two America East Championship games, both won by the University of Albany. Maine trying to reverse that this year, coming back from their 6th place preseason selection. And Pete, you mentioned that earlier, and this does not look like a 6th place team in the America East by any stretch of the imagination.
No, certainly not. And I think if you just look at their overall record, you say, well, 9-7, that looks like about a 6th place team to me. But then you look a little bit closer and see that they played 3 top 25 teams. Really went out of their way to challenge what's a pretty young playing group for this team, and I think that'll pay off as they get deeper into conference play.
And you throw out Mississippi State, and you throw out Duke. Both were pretty one-sided games. They were close with Miami. That was a 10-point loss. They were close with Ohio State. That was a 13-point loss. So you're not only going out there and playing quality teams, you're playing quality teams well, which not only does a lot, for your reputation, but it also does a lot for your team confidence.
I went to Boston College and beat them handily, too, which Boston College is not a top 25 program, but anytime a team from the America East can go to Boston College and win handily, that's certainly a victory that's going to get your attention.
We'll see what Amy Vachon can do with her team in the second half. As far as Joanna Burnaby-McNamee, what's the key thing, Pete, that they need to do, that the Danes need to do in this first 3 to 4 minutes of the third period?
The defense needs to be a little bit better. 59% shooting in the first half for Maine is, I'm sure, a lot more than Coach Mack wants. Some of those baskets can't be so easy. Have to make it a little harder for them defensively in the second half.
When we talked with Coach earlier this week, we talked a lot about the backdoor cuts. She said, we will talk about it over and over and over and over again, but until you do it, hello to Mark Benson, our athletic director, until you actually do it and get the experience doing it, you really have to see it before you can react to it.
And even when you know it's coming, it's such a difficult thing to defend.
Whistle away from the ball, and as the shot clock did not start. So 4 seconds can come off that shot clock. Perhaps. 9:56 on the game clock here. We're just underway in the third period. Rich Becker, Pete Iorizzo, our entire broadcast team. Sure that math works, but okay.
We lost 4 seconds on the game clock and 3 seconds on the shot clock. That's math I can actually do.
So Carrie Lang over to talk with Amy Vachon, who's laughing. I think, oh, there we go. Now we're at 26 and we're ready to go. Technology. Same starting 5 for both squads. Sutton. Maine moves it around Saar. Drives. Little short runner there by Dor Saar as she gets that to go. Driving on Mackenzie Turchich.
Saar was just 1 for 5 in the first half, so I'm sure she's looking to build a little confidence shooting the ball here early in the second half.
Maine's biggest lead of the game. Turchich around Wadling. Back to Forrester, goes off her hands. Into the hands of Sutton as she brings it up court. Now settles things. Back out to Saar, and Maine will run a set. Milan. Now to Johnson. Milan drives, gets that one to go. 2 quick baskets for the University of Maine. And it's a 39-32 lead. Timeout called by Coach Joanna Burnaby-McNamee as she'll bring the team in to discuss exactly what happened in the early going here as Maine gets 2 quick baskets and takes a 39-32 lead. We'll take a quick Tierra Farm timeout. Be back after this here on ESPN3. So you take away the back door. She's from Spain, one of 6 countries on this team, including the U.S. and Canada. Germany, Sweden. Write that down. Israel, Spain, Germany, Sweden, Canada, U.S. 1 minute. Oh, I didn't even see her bring those. That number is their record when they hold them under 60,
under 70,
under 70 was it?
Yeah, it was 11-0 when the other team doesn't score 70.
When Maine lost Siki Koitzer to graduation and Leah Sol to transfer, you had to wonder from Maine's perspective who was going to pick up the slack, and so far it's definitely been Blanca Milan.
Just a sophomore too, Rich. You can see how much potential she has to grow as a player too over the next couple of years. She really has a great basketball sense and so much craftiness about her in just her second year as a college player.
7 of 9, 17 points in 21 minutes of action so far. And Maine has opened up quickly with back-to-back baskets and open up a 39-32 lead. Inside pass there to Tiana Jo Carter, who comes up a little bit short. She can't quite convert the Bose pass. Dorsar brings it down for Maine, looking to increase their biggest advantage of the game. Milan, guarded by Féquière. Sutton moving it over to Wadling. Wadling will drive. Now look, knocked away by Forrester, picked up by Turpcic. Danes take the ball, move it down court. Turpcic had some space, but decided to survey instead of shoot. Féquière gets the screen by Forrester. Good pop out by Johnson to stop Féquière from going any further. Now inside to Carter, quickly to Forrester. Turpcic from 15, nothing there, loses the ball to Sarr. And now Sutton on the wing. Skip pass over to Milan, who goes baseline, tries to make something happen there, gets it to Johnson. Looked like Milan might be in some trouble. A good smart play to lay it off before she turned it over. Nine on the clock. Sarr driving on Bose. Nothing there, knocked away by Bose. Turpcic on the run. Sutton catching up with her. Turpcic to Carter. Carter, little step inside, gets that one to roll. Tiana Jo Carter, nice little reversal move there.
The Great Danes really needed some points. Didn't score in the last 3 minutes of the first half. Had gone scoreless for the first 3 minutes here in the second half. Needed some points to get their confidence back.
Nice backdoor cut there by Milan, but well defended by Carter, and the Danes come away with the ball. Féquière open for 3. She'll let it fly and knocks it down. Big bucket there for the Danes as Jessica Féquière hits a 3. Now 19 points for Jess, and the Danes are down 2.
No hesitation at all from Féquière when she got that ball.
Wadling drives on Forrester. Back out to Johnson, then to Sarr for 3, and she's got that. Wide open 3 for Dorsar. She knocks down her first 3-pointer of the game. 7 points for Dorsar, the freshman.
Starr missed all 3 of her 3-point attempts in the first half.
Let's go, UA! Let's go, UA!
Forrester tries to go inside to Carter, but a turnover there by the Danes. Wadling brings it down, but a little bit too high of a dribble. Maine's on the floor, and the held ball is called. Possession arrow pointing toward the Danes.
And I know Coach Mack loves this about her team, Rich. When you look there and you see a ball on the floor and there's 3 Great Danes on the ground trying to grab it.
You like that kind of hustle. Cheyenne Canada checks in. Emma List does as well. Féquière saved the turnover there. A little miscommunication between Jess and Mackenzie. There's Emma List. Carter over the top for, or rather Canada over the top for Carter. Well played there. Nice pass by Cheyenne Canada. That's the second time Canada has seen Carter inside for an easy 2.
Nice to see some chemistry developing between those two.
Carter, the junior from Syracuse, with a good eye there, picks up her second assist of the night. Double in the corner, and Danes force a turnover there. List took it away, but then gets fouled by Sutton. Sutton's second personal foul of the game. First foul of this quarter. That takes us to a timeout. As the Danes get something going, get some energy in the building. Féquière with a 3, but Maine still leads 42-39. Went through my bag today, just kind of threw out some of the old stuff. God, there's so much, I had so much paper. Just, you know.
I get like that long. I don't know why I even bother to save it, because I can never find, if I was looking for one, I'd never find it.
Exactly. ESPN3, your home for UAlbany basketball, both men and women. The women are home, as we mentioned earlier, the MLK Day Special, 2 o'clock on Monday, the 15th of January, as they take on the Binghamton Bearcats. And then the men follow up on the 18th at 7 o'clock right here when they take on the University of Massachusetts at Lowell Riverhawks. Albany men, congratulations to them, picking up a big victory on the road today at Maine, as they led 48-10 at halftime on their way to an 84-66 victory for Will Brown's team. That'll make that 7-hour, 3.5 movie bus ride a little easier for Coach Brown.
Always a difficult road trip for both of these schools, for Maine when they come down to Albany, and Albany when they head up to Maine.
Coach Brown never fails to miss the opportunity to mention that long bus ride either.
A 3-movie bus ride, as
three,
you would say.
3.5, yeah. You can just watch Slapshot 3 times in a row, right? Or Hoosiers. 10 seconds to shoot now. Frames getting a screen from Canada, now 6. Frames to the elbow, knocks it down. Kiera Frames. Well played there by the freshman from Laurel, Maryland. Instant energy when Frames comes on the floor. freshmen up top, List and Frames. High post there for Sutton as it rolls around and out. Hit almost every portion of the rim before it fell out, and Frames moves it down court. List gets fouled by Sutton. That's 3 now on Sutton.
Coming out of that timeout, Rich, Frames comes in, gives the Danes a lot of life there on offense. Like you said, she's instant energy off the bench. Then at the defensive end, Albany's own defense, I thought Maine really for the first time in this game looked a little stagnant there.
Tend to stand around a little bit against that zone. Sometimes teams can fall into that little lull of trying to find the opening, and everybody's not moving.
A lot of swinging the ball around the perimeter.
42-41. A little more than 3.5 to play here. Third quarter. Canada with a nice drive, loses it. Knocked out of bounds by Maine. Good aggressive drive, though, by Cheyenne Canada. I think this is something that Coach Mack would like to see out of her post players. A little bit more aggressiveness, a little bit more swagger, perhaps. Féquière from the baseline, and that, much like the one on the other end of the court, also hit all portions of the rim before it fell out. Reese Rossignol, Milan, over to Barra. In the corner now is Rossignol. List on her. Good read by Emma List to get the left foot out there and knock that pass away. 15 on the shot clock on the kick ball. 15, as we mentioned. Sarr calls Milan out. Back to Sarr with 7. Now Milan, long three-pointer there by Blanca Milan off the back iron and into the main bench. Good hustle by Dor Sarr, but not enough to save it from going out of bounds, and Albany will take over. Danes have not led until since late in the second quarter. Chance to take the lead right here. Féquière drives right down the lane, gets hit, and the foul. Jessica Féquière with a strong move there by the redshirt senior from Montreal to get to the basket and get the free throw.
UAlbany's really starting to find its footing offensively now, made 5 of their last 6 shots, and Féquière is really having herself a heck of a game now, 21 points with a chance to get to 22. And because it's her at the line, it's a good chance to get to 22.
6-0 run right now for the Danes. Féquière trying to make it a 7-0 run as the Danes have taken the lead. Knocks that down. (44-42). First time we've seen Kelly Fogarty, three-point shooter. Danes will need to keep a close eye on her. Skips it all the way over to Milan. Wide open 3 is long. Carter battling with Johnson underneath, and Johnson gets the offensive rebound. Ball is tipped back out to Fogarty. 5 on the clock. McVicker didn't see it until the bench told her, but she pulls up from 15. Back iron there, Milan with the offensive rebound, and Maine gets a fresh 30. Barra thought about it, gives it up to McVicker, now 20. Here's Milan, who's everywhere on the court. Fogarty, long 3, side iron, maybe no iron.
2
Frames
quick
comes away
baskets
with
to
it.
start the second half for Maine. They have not scored in about 4 minutes now. And you can see the possessions are getting a little longer as the Great Danes are starting to recognize a lot of that cutting action defensively.
0 for their last 5 now for the Black Bears. McVicker closely guards Féquière, who gives it up to List. Down to the post for Carter, who turns, goes strong to the basket, and 1 for Tiana Jo Carter. Nice strong move by the senior from Naples, Maine. Got to mean a little extra to her when you play the Maine Black Bears, and she sure showed it right there.
You mentioned, Rich, earlier on in the broadcast that a little bit of an injury. She slipped and fell late in the game against Stony Brook. And you could see in just her gait as she's walking around the court that it's bothering her a little bit, but still a very aggressive move to the basket there. And she's now in double figures.
Coming off a career high the other night against Stony Brook with 22 points. She now has 12 on the game. And the Danes take a 5-point advantage. Now they're tying the largest lead of the game. 10-0 run for UAlbany. Knocked away there, but it goes right to Fani Wadling, who lays it in. Good play right there for Maine. A very fortunate play, maybe we say, for Maine, as the ball got knocked away right in the hands of the waiting Wadling.
And Maine was really in need of a fortunate basket.
Féquière, 3 feet beyond the arc. Big three-pointer there for Jessica Féquière, as she now goes to 25 points on the game. And the Danes open up their lead, the largest of the game, with a minute to play here in the third period.
5 of 6 now for 3 from Féquière. She should feel good about shooting from anywhere.
McVicker did not get the roll. Wadling comes away with the rebound to Milan. In the corner now is Sutton. List runs at her, has Sutton reload and reshoot. Now frames. 7-second differential, shot clock, game clock. Coach Mack letting the team know exactly when she wants them to go. Now 15 on the shot. Canada. Back to frames, now with 8. Tipped off the hand of Bianca Sutton and goes out of bounds. Albany with just 4 seconds to shoot on the inbound play, side out. Bring some more size in, and Kiara Berra, 6'3" freshman, gets Sutton out of there with 3 fouls. Over the top to Carter. Nice pass there by List. Carter up just off the side iron as the ball falls away. 7 seconds to go with McVicker. She picks it up just over midcourt. Now 3-2. McVicker throws it up, rejected there by Carter. And a solid third period of action comes to an end for UAlbany as they outscore Maine 18-9. A 13-2 run over the last 5 minutes of that period. Jessica Féquière, a big part of it. 25 points now for Jess, as the Danes have a 6-point advantage. Career high?
Yes.
Against Fordham.
That's right, it was earlier this season.
Okay. 8 of 14, 5 of 6. I mean, you look at that. Maine is the three-point. They take the most three-point shots in the America East, and Albany's taken 11. They've taken 13.
Yeah.
Fans turning their attention to the video board for today's Recovery Sports Grill, Recovery of the Game.
What's the points off turnovers? 11, yeah, 17. That's pretty close.
That's Tina Jo Carter, steal. And layup in transition. And that's the Recovery Sports Grill, Recovery of the Game. Recovery Sports Grill, every game,
90.
Fans, it's time to get excited as your preseason
Why would I not have that number in here?
starts
Oh,
up
here.
in action this February. Season tickets are now on sale for as low as $49. Season tickets.
They're averaging, Maine is averaging 42 rebounds over their last 4 games. Thank you.
We're also excited to announce the addition of the Ultimate Crate Team Pack. This package includes 2 full season tickets, customized lacrosse sticks.
They're averaging 42 rebounds over the last 4 games.
21.
21. But I mean, Albany's only got 21 as well, so it's not. 3. Okay.
They've also shot the ball so well. That
Threes, drives, or a combination, Laura? Thank you. Oh, yeah, okay. Nothing. But good passes. Couple of good plays by List. Nothing there.
Canada too, 6 assists.
And Conroy's been quiet too. Yeah, 6 assists between them. Pete, in a big-time game, you want your big-time player to step up, and Albany's big-time player is stepping up.
Absolutely, Rich. The Albany offense was sputtering a little bit at the end of the first half, early in the second half. What do? Start getting the ball to Jess Féquière. She had 9 points in the third quarter, and a big reason why Albany is now ahead in this game.
8 of 14 from the field right now for Féquière. 5 of 6 from 3, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. It all adds up to 25 points in 29 minutes of play for the redshirt senior forward from Montreal, Quebec. Of course, her career high 27 in that overtime win over Fordham back in November. Féquière on pace certainly to pass significantly that if she keeps up the way she's playing here in the second half thus far. Fourth quarter action here at Féquière Arena. We mentioned we hope you'll join us here in person or on the ESPN3 broadcast on Monday when the Danes take on the Bearcats of Binghamton. Binghamton in action a little bit later today. They get a shot at Hartford, the undefeated Hartford Hawks. Frames in there at point guard for UAlbany. Féquière draws the foul on Blanca Milan, who grimaced as if she did not agree. Blocking foul there on number 22, her second.
Frames has done a really nice job running this offense here, getting an extended look really since early in the third quarter.
List almost loses the handle there. Back to Frames, and that's going to be a turnover as Frames slipped before she could get to it. Be a violation on the Danes. And Maine will take over. Patricia Conroy set to check in. She'll give Emma List a rest. And Conroy, who's got a career and season high 16 points, had a 16-point performance earlier this year, also a 12-point performance, a 2-time Rookie of the Year, looking to get into the scoring column. Three-pointer there from the corner by Paris Rossignol, falls off the rim. Picked up by Frames, who moves it quickly into the forecourt. Finds Conroy for 3 as she lets it go. Off back iron, but who's there but the UAlbany for an offensive rebound. Frames will reset it. Now to the corner for Féquière. Got tipped as she went to pass it to Bose in the corner, and Blanca Milan was right there to take it away. Drives right by Bose for the nice right-handed layup for Blanca Milan.
Just like UAlbany looked to Féquière to get its offense going, you're going to see Maine do the same thing here, and I think look at Blanca Milan here as we get deeper into the fourth quarter.
19 points now for Milan, and the lead is 4. Nice pass there by Frames to Féquière, and Milan gets hit with a foul. That's going to be her third. She and Sutton now with 3 each. Danes with Carter and Forrester with a pair of fouls each. Forrester on the floor, Carter getting a rest. Inside there to Conroy. Bose will take the 3 and knock it down. Bose Ayalabe for 3. Her first of the game now, 5 on the afternoon for Bose. As the Danes rebuild that lead to 7, the largest in the game. Wide open there for Paris Rossignol. A little bit off mark. Frames grabs the rebound, brings it to the court. Trish Conroy sees an opportunity and gets called for the charge. She came around the corner and decided to drive baseline, and it just wasn't there.
Offensive foul number.
Back to that previous possession for a second. Rich, Maine just 3 of 15 now from 3 in this game. We talked about what a great three-point shooting team they are. A lot of different players who could shoot the 3, but not particularly well in this particular game. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Albany 7 of 13. Of course, a lot of that's because Féquière is 5 of 6.
Sometimes that happens when you're a three-point shooter. Sometimes the ball just doesn't go. And Maine has taken 399 coming in, or shooting 41%, 40.7% coming in, 3rd in the America East. Wadling takes one that is a bit wild. Féquière comes down with the rebound. She lays it off to Turchich, who just checked in. Thought about having Forrester open. Féquière with a little runner, and that goes in for Jessica Féquière, who ties a career high at 27 points. High post there for Sutton. On Forrester, who drives. Quick up there for Sutton, doesn't quite go. Wadling will get called for going over the back on Jessica Féquière. Wadling's third foul, so the fouls are starting to mount on Maine with their key players. This was something that Amy Vachon pointed out. We cannot get in foul trouble. Albany shoots the free throws too well for us to get into foul trouble, and especially to have 3 key players in foul trouble.
And if you're going to try to make up a 9-point deficit here over the last 7 minutes, it's going to be awfully difficult to do it when you put Albany, a good free throw shooting team, on us.
Great look inside by Mackenzie Turchich. And then Jessica Féquière just took a little drop step and laid it in. Career high 29 now for Jessica Féquière as Amy Vachon takes the timeout. Nice move there by Féquière as she avoids the contact and gets the basket. And 29 points now for Jessica Féquière. 57-46 our score. We'll take a timeout. That's not the first call timeout.
Coach Mack called the timeout a minute into the second, like a minute into the second half.
Oh, that's right. So that would have been the 30 to a full. But this one, like the referee didn't signal. He just signaled for a 30, and that was it. And it came up 30-second timeout here. That one confused me. Doesn't take much, but.
Oh, anyway, sorry for talking over Féquière's basket. I was looking at you, and
no, that was fine.
That's the Pepsi point of the game.
Okay. What else we got on her? I got her here. What am I looking there for? I'll lead into it with some superlatives on her, and then you can take it from there.
Sure.
All-conference preseason pick Jessica Féquière, 2-time player of the week already, and off to another big game today.
She's just a player, Rich, who does so many different things. Today, 5 of 6 from 3, obviously an exceptional three-point shooter. As good a free throw shooter as you'll find, 4 or 5 from the line today. 7 rebounds. It's hard to overstate how much she means to this team.
29 points right now for Jessica Féquière. That's a career high. Go back to February 23rd of last year when Amani Tate hung 33 on UVM. The last time an Albany player scored 30 points in a game, and Jessica Féquière right on the doorstep of changing that and helping UAlbany to a victory over Maine. Right now, 6:44 to go. The Danes up 57-46, Maine with the ball. Dorsar clearing it out, Sutton. Nice catch there as she almost lost it. Sarl drive, kicks it out to McVicker now. McVicker for 3 off the back iron there. Milan with the rebound. She gets tied up with Féquière, and Féquière will get called for the foul. First one of the game for her.
Rich, Coach Mack called the timeout just 90 seconds into the second half after Maine got a couple of quick baskets. And I would love to know what she said to the team, because it's really been all UAlbany since then.
Danes on another run, a 7-0 run over the last 2 minutes. Maine turns it over again. Maine on the year, turning the ball over 16 times on average. You know, right on that number right now with 6 minutes and 14 seconds to play here in the fourth quarter. Sutton trying to move with Féquière. The two get hooked up, and Sutton will get called for her 4th foul of the game.
It was a 7-point lead for Maine when Coach Mack called that timeout. Now a 9-point lead for Albany. 11-point lead, excuse me.
Big turnaround there. Magic words, whatever she said, hopefully she remembers that in case she needs it for another game. So Sutton now with 4, staying out on the court. Féquière spins on Milan, and it's just all going right for Jessica Féquière. Turnaround in the face, well defended by Blanca Milan. Gets the roll off the iron for 31 now for Jessica Féquière.
Might have been that those magic words were get the ball to Jess Féquière.
Those words often work. Sutton, nice fake there on Forrester. Corner 3 there is too long for Milan. Patricia Conroy comes down with the rebound. Mackenzie Turpchich will push it up into the forecourt. Over to Conroy. Drives baseline again, this time on Sutton. Goes reverse, can't quite go. Sutton comes down with the rebound. Good aggressive effort by Conroy, just doesn't fall. McVicker, guarded by Conroy. Conroy opened up there to cut off the back door. Sutton pulls up, takes the jumper, doesn't go. But Heather Forrester is going to get called for the foul on Kirsten Johnson underneath. The two got hooked up, and Forrester was the one that gets charged with the indiscretion.
That's her 3rd personal foul, team foul number 3.
Just a battle underneath. I'm pretty sure that Dorsar can't walk with the ball the way she just did out of bounds there, but it wasn't called. Nice look inside from Saar to Sutton. And Sutton gets the roll this time. Good look by Dorsar as she picks up her 4th assist of the game.
Excellent court vision for the freshman point guard.
And we keep saying that. We say freshman this, sophomore that. This Maine team is going to be good for a while. Forrester out top. Conroy matched up with McVicker. Good screen there by Forrester as she rolls. Wide open inside. Heather Forrester goes up and gets the basket. Nice pick and roll there for UAlbany. Turns into 2, maybe 3.
And I know Coach Mack wants to see more of that from Forrester. When she catches the ball there, don't be afraid to turn and go to the basket.
So much of this game is confidence, and you look here with the confidence that she put that ball right up on the glass, got the basket.
The coaching staff believes she's very capable of being a good offensive player.
And the other benefit of that for UAlbany is that's also the 5th foul on Tanisha Sutton. Outstanding redshirt junior guard from Philadelphia will have to take a seat on the bench. Maine taking all of its time before subbing Parise Rossignol in for Tanisha Sutton, who wraps up the game with 12 points and 5 rebounds.
Becoming a tall task for Maine here now. Down 13, 4.5 minutes to go, and having to do it without Sutton, who means so much to really everything they do offensively.
She is the glue person for this team, if you will.
Leads in both assists and rebounds. Rare combination.
Lane violation called on the Black Bears, so Forrester will get another shot at this free throw to convert the conventional 3-point play. Same response there, but guess who comes away with an offensive rebound? The person who's been doing it all today for UAlbany, and that's Jessica Féquière. 8th rebound now as she approaches a double-double. Foul there by Blanca Milan, and that'll be her 4th.
Black Bears foul number 22.
Good quick first step there. Milan just threw out the leg and knocked Féquière to the ground. Free throws now for Jessica Féquière. Down the first now, 5 of 6 from the free throw line for Jessica Féquière, 32 points. China Canada checks in for the Danes. And there's another one for Féquière. Now ties that mark we mentioned of Mamani Tate, that 33 she scored against Vermont. Danes 63-48 advantage. Out to their biggest lead, and a travel for Maine, and it's all falling apart for the Black Bears right now.
Maine looked like it was not anticipating that press defense there, coming off the free throws.
Tierra Farms timeout on the court for University of Maine, as it's all smiles in the UAlbany huddle right now. 63-48 advantage. You can see the big smile there on Mackenzie Turpish's face. Danes forced their 17th turnover, main turnover of the game. And the Danes have been so eager to get those turnovers and turn them into points, and once again they've won that battle, or winning that battle in this one with 16 points off turnovers so far. That's always a good indicator stat for UAlbany, and when they commit fewer turnovers than the other team, 11-1 on the season.
Rich, you talked earlier about Albany right now, the #1 offense in the America East, and so much of that offense for them comes from turnovers. They're as good at forcing turnovers as anybody in the league.
70 points a game for UAlbany. Telling stat right there. 33 points for Féquière, 30 for the rest of the Danes team. Tells you how important the redshirt senior has been this year. Yeah, it's going well for the Danes. Even when a pass that that was intended for someone else doesn't get there, it falls right into the hands of a UAlbany player. Trisha Conroy gets fouled. She'll go to the line. McVicker gets called.
Black Bears foul number 4, McVicker. That's her first personal foul. Patricia Conroy at the line, shoot 2.
3:52 to play. First free throw attempts of the game for Patricia Conroy. Bounces off the back iron. And while, if you're Coach Mack, assuming this stays the way it is, you're happy with the victory, how concerned are you that more than 50% of your points came from one player?
You know, I think the way Coach Mack looks at it is whatever it takes to win each individual game, and Jess Féquière scoring 30-plus points was what it takes to get the win today. I think she's happy about that.
Fair enough. And it's not like it's been that way every game. You know, if Jess was scoring 50% of her team's points every game, you might be worried about that. But certainly Albany has other players that throughout the season have stepped up and taken the lead in scoring or been a major part of the scoring. Offensive foul called on Féquière as she hooked McVicker down in the post, anticipating that pass from the wing. Second personal on Jess.
I think one of the reasons, too, that Albany has picked second in the league this year is they have a player like Féquière who, even when things are maybe not going so well for a number of others, she's the kind of player who can take over a game all by herself. And she gets a nice round of applause here.
Everybody on the bench standing, many in the crowd standing and applauding the Jessica Féquière performance today. Big smile on Féquière's face as she headed to the bench. Three minutes to play here in the fourth. McVicker. Saar with 4, now 3. Just inside the three-point arc, a two-pointer for Dor Saar. As Maine makes it just its second field goal in the last 9 tries. Turpich from 15, rolls off the back there. McVicker comes down with the rebound. Fogarty. Nice backdoor cut there by Paris Rossignol. She gets 2 there.
First time we've said nice backdoor cut in quite some time here, which shows how much better the Albany defense has been here in the second half.
Carter with a good look inside. Canada couldn't hold it, and then Carter comes back and It's the foul there on Dorsar.
UAlbany foul number 33, Tina Jo Carter. That's her third personal foul. Team foul number 5.
And Pete, one of the odd things for Maine, and you have to wonder exactly why it happened, is one of their top scorers, Julie Brosseau, the top three-point shooter in the America East, never came back after those 2 early fouls. You have to wonder if there was some sort of injury situation or something there, the reason why she never got back on the court after those initial 3 minutes.
Especially in a game where Maine shoots 3 for 17 from 3.
And that certainly has not been their MO this season, to shoot poorly from 3. They have an outstanding three-point shooting team, as we mentioned earlier, that many players can hit that 3. It just hasn't happened today for the Black Bears. We credit Albany's defense for part of that, and that's been a struggle for Coach Mack's team this year, is defending the three-point line, and they've done a strong job of that today. Bose gets the screen from Féquière, starts the roll. Now List. 10 to shoot for Albany. Turpchich now 6. Drives to the basket, gets the layup as Mackenzie Turpchich goes hard to the basket. Turpchich now with 9 to go along with her 4 assists. Fogarty. Sarr. High post there for Johnson. McVicker on the drive. Little pull up there for Maddie McVicker. Tough shot. Emma List rips down the rebound. Turpchich will push it up. 15-footer there. She'll pull it out. Go to Bose and get the reset with 20 on the shot clock.
Good idea from Turpchich to slow it down here a little bit. 12-point lead with 1 minute to go.
Feeling pretty good about that if you're UAlbany. List with 5, Bose with 4. Inside to Féquière, gets the hook up and gets it to fall. Jessica Féquière, the post hook as the shot clock expires for her 34th and 5th points of the evening, or afternoon, I should say.
She has scored just about every which way you can in this game.
Good read there by Heather Forrester to knock that ball away. List gets called for the charge. She couldn't quite pull herself up as she tried to make the touch pass across.
Number 32, Emma List. That's her first personal foul.
You can forgive an aggressive foul like that when the score is 68-54 and you're 30 seconds to play. Danes take it away. Shot clock will go off, and we'll be in the final 10 seconds of this UAlbany victory as the fans come to their feet. Mackenzie Turpchich will dribble this out. An outstanding performance by redshirt senior Jessica Féquière. 35 points on the night. She's mobbed by her teammates in front of the UAlbany bench as the Danes pick up a solid win over a very good Maine Black Bears team, 68-54. Pete, you get a win like this, you're going in against Binghamton, another team that has some solid and a very veteran club. This has to make you feel very good going into Monday.
Yeah, it's a busy stretch here, too, for the Great Danes. 3 games in the next 5 days, and when you can pick up a win in the first one, it certainly makes it a little easier to turn around and get ready for another game just 2 days later.
Pete Rizzo, appreciate your help today.
Thanks a lot.
Look forward to seeing you on Monday, 68-54. We'll come back after this timeout, and we'll talk to Coach Joanna Burnaby-McNamee. You're watching America East Women's Basketball here on ESPN3. Was Robert Lee here? Yeah, I thought so.
Home on Thursday, January 18th, when they face the UMass Lowell Riverhawks at 7 p.m. right here at Féquière Arena.
How do I make this smaller?
Once again, thank you for attending, and please drive home safely.
68-54 our final score today. UAlbany with a big third quarter and a strong effort in the fourth quarter to take this victory from Maine today. Coach Joanna Burnaby-McNamee joins me now courtside. Coach, what was said in that timeout that you called about 90 seconds into the third quarter that really kind of sparked things?
Kind of just, we had a kind of a come to Jesus at halftime meeting, and it was sort of like all of that, and we came out and we let them score 4 quick points. So called a timeout and said, hey, let's start playing now. You know, we had to start, and then we also switched into a little bit of zones. That kind of helped us out. So
that seemed to spark the defense.
Absolutely.
And Jess seemed to really spark the offense.
Did Jess play her butt off today or what? And that's the Jess that we could see every night, and we should see every night. But she knows now that she doesn't have to do that performance for us to win. But, you know, I think she's an unbelievable player, and she